theme of connecting, and that's what we want to do, is connect you to the resources that you need to be successful. I want to thank our gold sponsors, Lima One Capital and Mark Buford. There he is, Mark Buford. We run into some tough deals sometimes. These deals on the south side of Chicago, a lot of times have a lot of moving parts, okay? From the time you start looking at it to the time you get it under contract, to the appraisals, they don't like your numbers, okay? The bank is questioning all kind of stuff, but you look at the intrinsic value of the property. I think a lot of the properties, a lot of the neighborhoods are undervalued, but we've engineered this thing. We had some guys come in because the north side is slowing down a little bit. They're going to come on the south side and start brokering deals. Good luck, you know. And so what they did is they start calling our listings, you know. But that's fine. They started getting some deals and they couldn't figure out how to get them over the finish line. You know, they should have came to this forum because Lima One and RENOVO and these guys, they can get them over the finish line. We also got CCLF here, Chicago Community Loan Fund. They want to do lending and make an impact. That's Wendell Harris. They want to make an impact in the community. You can't just come in and get a loan. What are you trying to do to change the trajectory of this neighborhood that you're investing in? Are you going to put some people to work? Are you going to provide some quality, affordable housing? Are you going to be an average landlord, or are you going to step it up a little bit? That's what they're looking for. I think they just got there's a lot of capital here on the south side. You got to know how to tap into it. You got to know how to maneuver, who to talk to, and not waste time. You only get one chance to sell your property or buy your property. And we want to link you with the resources that you need to be successful. And then the only lender that was lending when it got tough was here. And that's CIC. They've been in our backyard making a way when it was no way. It was like, we can't land anywhere in the country. We know we're not going to land on the south side of Chicago when we hit the recession. But CIC was here to say, look, if you're a strong landlord, you're running your buildings right, we can walk through a few properties that you're operating, and you're operating them properly. We'll figure out a way to get you some money, but we're not going to wait on you to fix the property after 5 years. You got to borrow the money to make that property right day one. It's going to cost you a little bit more to get into that deal, but when you're into that deal, if it's cash flowing, you're in a position to win, regardless of what happens in the economy, because you're not going to get hit with a building code violation for your porches. We're going to make sure you did that on the front end. That's CIC and what they do. Before I bring up our next guest, I would like to talk a little bit about Mr. Eiran Feldman. The guy, he's a fun guy. I mean, he works really hard on the south side to try to make a difference and to try to provide quality, affordable housing. He goes into some tough neighborhoods, he takes on some tough assignments, and some properties that trouble buildings. He takes on trouble buildings, he cleans them up. He invests his time, he invests his money and his energy to do that. And then when he's not doing that, and putting murals of famous people on his building, getting this outside a little bit more attention. You've probably seen the building with Michelle Obama, painted like the Queen of Africa. It was all over the news. Who did that? Eiran Feldman did. Brought in an artist and paid him to do that. Did a couple other, was it Mahalia Jackson?
It was Mahalia Jackson. There was
Commons on one of his buildings.
Before anybody knew him.
Yeah. And when he's not doing that, he's out with the NBOA, which is the Neighborhood Building Owners Alliance, he's the president of the MBOA, which is a consortium of property owners, 5 or 6 different neighborhoods. I can't keep up with them all because they're always growing. It's the Rogers Park Builders Group, if you heard of them. There's a group in Lakeview. There's the GATA over on the west side, Greater Auburn Gresham Austin Developers Association. And he's also heads up the Southside Community Investors Association, which is under that umbrella. That's a network of landlords that I'm still trying to count, but I think I know they control more than $10 billion worth of real estate in this city. And they work together to fight for the rights of property owners. And property owners get hit over the head, you guys know, with a lot of, I call it Chinese drip torture. Use your water bill. It's going up 30% and it's not done going up, okay? Everything's going up on us. And now they're talking about doing some things with rent control. Get it out there. They're doing some things with rent control. Who's up there to say, hey, what about us? All right, we're invested in these properties. All of our expenses going up, and you're going to tell us we can't, you know, keep our rent with pace with the market. But anyway, that's his deal. Eiran, come on up and tell us about the S.S.C.I.A. and some of the stuff you're doing over there.
You have to say that I climbed Machu Picchu.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Well, Machu Picchu you don't really climb. You take a bus and a train and you get there. But like there was a volcano in Chile that I got to climb. That was, where do you go, 25 years ago. So it's been a while. Happy to be here. How many of you are first-time investors looking to buy their first property on the south side? How many of you, yeah, right. How many of you, it's like their first year or two? Okay, so there's a lot of like experienced investors here. So how many have been around on the south side for the last 5 or 10 years? Okay, a lot more hands. So you guys have, I've seen a little bit out there. That's good. That's good. So I don't have to give like a welcome to the South Side kind of a speech, but yes. So I own and manage on the South Side of Chicago. I've been on the South Side, give or take, about 20 years, and I have been buying multifamily properties. I own and manage my own properties, about 500 units, and it's a every day is fun. Every day is interesting. And I won't focus more on my management part and owning and managing properties. I'll talk a little bit. I'm here to talk about the Southside Community Investors Association. If you guys are not part of a owner group, part of a builder group, and especially not part of our group, you need to start being part of that kind of a group. Because if you've been doing this for a while, you know about the RLTO, you know about eviction, you know about the building code. And if you're following the news, you know that every year there is at least 2 or 3 items that are being dropped on us as far as property owners, as far as investors are concerned in the city of Chicago. They're being dropped on us, and they're pushing as far as like the tenants and the city and the county, they're pushing the envelope as far as the challenges that we have to handle, that we have to address. And it's only making our life more difficult. And they're coming in from the side of, you guys are making a boatload of money, so therefore what's a couple more dollars off your bottom line? You're just helping the bigger cause. And what they're not understanding is that every day out there is a fight, every day is a struggle, and the amount of sweat equity that we, aside from the dollars that we put in, the amount of sweat equity that we put into these properties, in order to get that bottom line, it's not even measurable in dollars and hours. I mean, this is years that are really taking off our life basically, as far as shortening our life. So they don't see that. They're in their minds. We need to give more. Tony mentioned, and I'm sure all of you are seeing your water bills, they actually tripled in the last 5 years. Taxes in general have doubled in the last 5 years, real estate taxes. Southside Community Investor Association gets together once a month. We cry on each other's shoulder on how hard it is to be a property owner on the south side of Chicago. But more seriously, we try to educate ourselves on what we need to do to be better property owners in the neighborhood, and what can we do to help. So we start a little bit with updates on what's going on in the market, what's going on if it's something national that's affecting us, if it's something more on the state, county, city level. We do these kind of updates, and then what we try to do is we try to bring speakers that are relevant to our work. We've had Cook County Sheriff Department, we've had the building department visit with us. We just bring different speakers. On the 24th, we're actually bringing a couple of speakers to talk about opportunity zones. That's been a hot topic, and there's been a lot of talk about it, but really there's still not a good understanding of what exactly opportunity zones are offering us as investors, both on purchasing and on as far as selling properties. So there's still a lot that's not written. The IRS actually just canceled the meeting to help clarify opportunity zones because of the shutdown. So there's still some ambiguity about exactly how opportunity zones work, but we're going to try to educate ourselves as much as possible on the 24th. It's actually going to be a lunch meeting over at Hyde Park at Bluefish. Is it Bluefish Redfish or Redfish Bluefish?
Redfish Bluefish, 5121 South Harper. They opened up a week ago. And we're trying to support local businesses, local Southside businesses.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's really, and you know, just to kind of like touch on a few things that what we're dealing about as far as protecting the rights of property owners, and they do need to be protected. We do collaborate with other property owner groups from other parts of the city because we're all dealing with the same issues. It doesn't matter if you're renting to somebody who's making $1 million a year or somebody who's making no money for the year and just is being subsidized. We as property owners are under the same building code. We're dealing with the same eviction process. So we collaborate together. Actually, Neighborhood Building Owners Alliance, which is our umbrella group, in the last couple of years has been growing. We're seeing because of how the tenant groups are pushing the envelope, we're actually seeing more organizing of property owners in different parts of the city. So we are seeing a few more Northside groups being established, and we're seeing a lot more organizing and a lot more concern, because the term rent control shouldn't stop you from investing, but the term rent control should not keep you up at night, but it should concern you. I mean, this is, and they love to. I've been in conversations with tenant groups, and they love to bring the East Coast and the West Coast, and it's utopia over there, and there's rent control, and everybody's happy. That's bullshit. First of all, on the West Coast in California, there's caps on taxes, on real estate taxes. So in an environment that your expenses are not changing, you can start talking about, well, maybe rent should not go as aggressively, grow higher as aggressively. I disagree with the whole notion, but there is a little bit more of an environment that can sustain properties when rents are being capped. The problem is, I just talked about it, our water's going up, our taxes are going up, insurance, you could wake up, point at you. Insurance, like you can wake up and all of a sudden like, yep, you know, a couple carriers pulled out of the market, and your insurance will go up. Your gas bill can go up at any given time. So the variables are just too big for us to be able to say, yeah, let's just put a cap on rent. The problem right now is that it's a very sexy concept for our politicians, especially the new ones, to bring it up at this election cycle. It gets people into meetings, it gets people into rallies, and it's an easy sell. It's like, if I ask you, it's like, if you want to stop paying taxes, or let's just cap taxes. How about that? Like, your personal taxes from now on are going to stay the same. You'll say yes, of course. It's an easy sell. It sounds so brilliant and so easy. Everybody will say it. What we're doing is like together with the coalition of not just property owners, but together with, where's our car guy that was just here? Together with CAR, together with what's the name? The apartment building group. Not BOMA, the
Chicago Apartment Association.
yeah, the apartment association. We're forming a coalition, and I think that coalition is only going to grow because what people don't understand is that the impact of rent control is so far-reaching, not just to real estate, it's so far-reaching to the economy as a whole. It stagnates local economy. So just think about it, like if we implemented rent control, what it does, and Tony, let me know if I'm like going on and on and on. But if
Doing
we
good.
put rent control in place, what's going to happen is you're going to create a lottery, like kind of like a lottery class. The tenants that are in their apartments, they're winners of the lottery. Their rents are frozen and they're going up very, very gradually for their lifetime. Those people are not moving. It's like if they move, they lose that. So those people are not moving. What's going to happen with CAR is the CAR is going to see immediately a whole bunch of brokers go out of business. Anybody that in the last 10 years has capitalized on the rental market as far as leasing apartments, that income is being wiped out because two things are going to happen. People are not going to move, and the people that do want to move into apartments are not going to have any inventory to move into. So that's immediately going to wipe out like a good chunk of income. That's going to have an impact on local economies, and that's not even counting, people that make money off of people coming and going. So I could go on and on. I mean, it is documented on the East Coast and the West Coast how damaging it is. And the bottom line is what the real problem is that there is a lack of affordable housing, which is good news for all of you because Southside is affordable housing. There's a shortage of 200,000 affordable housing units. And really what should the solution to the problem where rent control doesn't solve it, we need to build more housing units. And that's, at a different time I could dive into that and come to our meeting. That's where you have to talk about zoning, you have to talk about building code that's not allowing us to build at a cost-effective rate to build affordable housing units. And that would be the real solution. Adding units to the market, through property owners, through investors that are able to build them in a cost-effective way. So that's one hot topic. There's other hot topics that we work on. Please come to our meetings. If you want, I can hook you up with our mailer. Here, I'll give you the mail. Yes?
Can I just add something
Yeah.
that we're working on as well that we're hearing whispers about in Cook County? As you know, we have a new assessor. We actually hosted an event where he came to speak, and he was very open, frank, and honest. But one of the things that we're hearing that might be changing is requiring property owners to disclose income when they're going through the assessment process, not through your appeal process, the actual first assessment, which the owner you can speak to that.
So I've heard different discussion about that.
So we're keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, what I would say is, first of all, if they say, hey, give us your income ahead of us assessing, good luck. I mean, they don't have the manpower to manage something like that. It would drown to either a pile of emails or a pile of actual paper. But what they're saying is the appeal process now is going to be more, with the new assessor, that it's going to be more income based. Like they're going to want to see sales comps